Hello, my name is Javier Rodriguez, and I'm super excited to be with you here today on this webinar that's going to be a little different than our weekly webinars we've been holding. This one we're going to record and archive on our website to make it available on a 24-hour, 7 days a week basis. Now, keep in mind that this is a shortened or condensed version of the webinar, so I'm going to move at a pretty brisk pace. And just know that if you have any other questions at the end of this webinar, you can just simply call or text me on the number you're going to see here on the screen as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the purpose of this webinar, of course, is to teach you how to leverage the $1 million baby concept to give your child or grandchild the financial future most people only dream about. Now, for over 20 years, I have served as a financial strategist, helping people from all walks of life secure their own financial future, as well as their families, by leveraging the power of concepts and products that in most cases, they didn't even know existed. And while they do work great for adults, they work even better for kids because they have nothing but time to allow that money to grow. Let me ask you, what kind of a financial life do you dream of for your child? One of financial abundance and success, or one of struggles? And depending on how you answer that question, you have to make sure you're backing it by making sure you're taking the appropriate action to secure one or the other. Now, here's another simple question. If you could choose an annual salary for your child or grandchild today, regardless of how young they might be, would you want them to make $20,000 a year, $37,000 a year, $65,000 a year, or almost $100,000 a year? Of course, most parents and grandparents would say $100,000, please. But the key here is education, meaning that the more you learn, the more they'll earn. And in many cases, when I ask the average family, how much is in the college funds for that child, the answer is usually either A, not a whole lot, or what college fund? They don't even have one. And it's ironic because in many cases, kids don't have a college fund, but yet they walk around with the latest and greatest smartphone or the latest, let's just say, game console, video games, music, and so many other things that we spend our money on that really are not going to give them much in life. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that or spoil them. I'm just simply saying that in many cases, our kids' futures are not set, not because of the lack of finance or money, but because our priorities are sometimes screwed up. And so having said that, as long as we cover our bases first, what you do with the rest of your money doesn't matter. You can spend it on them, but I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we should take care of business first, making sure that their financial future is secure. So whether your child is a newborn or maybe 14 years old, it doesn't really matter. This can give your child the financial future they deserve. And by that, I'm talking about college. College is very important because, like I said, the more they learn, the more they can earn, the higher of a salary they can command. We know that a career is much better than a job and blah, blah, blah. But it's useless if we don't have money saved up to push them to make sure that they keep up their side of the bargain when it comes to education. But what if you can also help them with that very same money purchase their first home, or even get them ready for their own retirement, which we all wish we could have started saving for our retirement a lot sooner, where here's your chance to do that. You see, a child will provide you, the parent or grandparent, the opportunity to build and pass on a legacy that can continue long after you're gone. Now, this legacy includes your values, work ethic, culture, heritage, religion, and a whole lot more. But there's also another legacy you can leave that can bring many benefits and advantages to a child as well as future generations. And that, of course, is a financial legacy. And that's why I'm here today. With proper planning today, you can provide your child or grandchild a life full of financial security and stability. And you can do that by leveraging the power of what's called an Indexed Universal Life, or IUL, life insurance policy. It's a permanent form of life insurance that leads many to ask, why life insurance? Well, life insurance has a lot of very unique characteristics that are unique to itself that allow you to have many benefits, not just you, but also your child or grandchild. I'm not going to read all of them because, again, I'm trying to get to this as quickly as possible. You can pause the video and read it for yourself, but it does offer tax-free growth. You can actually access and use the money income tax-free, and you can start one for a child as early as 14 days after birth. And the best part is that the cash value or the money in it can be used by your child or by yourself for any financial need in life, including education, down payment on a home, starting a business, and even to provide financial security for their future family as well. And here's the best part. It doesn't have to be just the parents that can open this up. Parents, grandparents, legal guardians, aunts, uncles can open up these plans and control them as long as they like. If you want to, you can hand over control of these policies to your child once he or she turns 18 years old, or you can just simply remain as the owner until you see it fit. and many other things that simply make this one of the best plans, in my opinion, out there to give any child a true shot at the best future they could possibly have. Now here's a picture of my wife on the right and my daughter in the middle. Her name is Sylvia, and the very concepts that I'm sharing with you here are the ones that I've used to push my kids through in life as well. So I'm not out here trying to sell you something. I just want to share with you something that worked very well for me. It worked so well, it allowed me to push my daughter through school. She is now a registered nurse, and the best part is she was able to graduate with absolutely zero student loan debt. Nothing, not one penny. So now she can focus on making as much as she can, saving as much as she can, especially for that baby that you can see that she's carrying, which is my first grandson. His name is Jack, and here's a picture of Jack when he was still in his mom's tummy. And I knew that right out of the gate, the baby had to be at least 14 days old in order to obtain one of these plans. So we did that. And here's what the illustration looks like, or the projection that we're going to be able to do for you and your child as well. So as you can see, I'm saving $100 a month or $1,200 a year. And you can see that with the red arrow. And that immediately gives Jack a face amount of $393,000 of life insurance. Again, there has to be life insurance attached to this in order for it to be tax-free. Now, not only is the obvious in case of death when this can kick in, but most importantly, it's not going to happen. Statistically speaking, the chances of a child, a baby, passing away is just so low that the cost of insurance is so cheap, if you would, that the bulk of the money goes to work for the savings portion of the program. But if he does come down with a terminal, chronic, or a critical illness, we can tap into the life insurance amount to push him through and get him back in the game of life. So as you can see here, the goal is to save enough money for not just his college education, but beyond. And by the time he is 18 years old, as you can see here, there's almost $26,000 in savings that we can use to pay for college, offset the expense of college, or hopefully he qualifies for some type of scholarship or financial assistance or what have you, which this does not prohibit you from qualifying for, by the way, like other programs do. And if that's the case, the money keeps growing for the next big goal, which is to help him buy a home. And by the time Jack is 25 years old, there's $47,000 saved up in his name that he can use for whatever reason at any time without penalties or taxes. By the time he's 30, it's grown to $70,000. By the time he's 45, it's $200,000 plus that can be used for anything whatsoever. Now, let me share another story with you. Now, again, I'm not here selling you. I'm here sharing with you stuff that I have on my own life, my grandson's life, and also my granddaughter. Here's my oldest granddaughter right here. Her name is Zoe. She's 3 years old. When she was born, I did the exact same thing with her. Now, this is a snapshot of my app on my smartphone showing me the status of two policies. The top one is my own personal one that I have on my own life for $250,000. The bottom one is for my granddaughter. Again, I'm saving $1,200 a year for her plan. And so let me just fast forward here to one of the latest snapshots I took of her account. If you look at the bottom, it shows total premium paid $3,600, which is what I paid because I pay annually for her on her birthday every year. That's $3,600 I've given the company. But out of that, I have $2,535 available to her right now, which is simply incredible because the cost of insurance is so cheap. Because like I told you earlier, the chances of a child passing away is so low, the bulk of the money goes to grow. And once it grows, you can access it at any time for any reason without penalties or taxes, whether it be college education, their first home, their wedding. It does not matter. There's literally no shortage of things to spend the money on to give them a better life, but there sometimes seems to be a lack of a plan that's saving money in their name, and this can turn that around. An Index Universal Life or IUL policy combined with the most precious commodity your child has or your grandchild has today, which is time, can give them the type of financial life that most of us only dream about. But with time, you can either leverage it or you can let it slip away. And a lot of that will have to do with what you do on their behalf. Because you see, your child's financial life and your legacy will be determined in great part by the decisions and actions you take on their behalf today. They can't do it for themselves. They're too young, but you're not. And as a parent, as a grandparent, I know you don't want to condemn them to a life of struggles and low wages and so on, just because you never got around to saving for their college. And even if they do get that college education, the last thing you want to do is burden them with tons and tons of student loan debt that just simply never goes away. So to learn how you can give your child or grandchild a gift that can provide them with the life you dream for them, simply click on the button below to schedule an actual consultation. It's only 15 minutes long. We do it via Zoom, and it will be conducted with myself personally. And so I will go ahead and run your numbers to show you what can be possible for your child or grandchild with absolutely no obligation, and it will take place from the comfort and safety of your own home via a Zoom web meeting as well. I thank you for your time. I wish you nothing but success and health. And above all, please make sure you and your loved ones stay healthy. Thank you.